actually. Every friend that I have, either as a student or with the other temporary visas, we are all out of jobs immediately. We are all working in hospitality. And then we start panicking, to be honest.
I'm Dani Valent, and this is Dirty Linen, the podcast that takes the issues the hospitality industry finds hard to air in public and shakes them all about. This week on Dirty Linen, we're talking about visa holders, temporary workers who are in Australia because we need them, because they're here studying, because they're here on working holidays. They keep our economy running, ticking over. If you've ever eaten in a restaurant anywhere in Australia, you've been helped along that journey by someone on a temporary visa. I've been really passionate about the plight of temporary visa holders in Australia since the pandemic began. They have not been included in most government support packages. They've been left out in the cold. As the link between poverty and virus transmission has become clearer and clearer over the months of this pandemic, and particularly through the hard lockdown of the social housing towers in Melbourne, and as community transmission has increased during Melbourne's lockdown, second lockdown, to me it seems even more obvious that temporary visa holders need to be looked after properly, and that this old idea of Team Australia, which no one seems to be talking about anymore, needs to be resurrected and actually thought about properly. I met Tugce Bayrakdar through my work with the Attica Soup Project. From the beginning, Tugce and her awesome bunch of Turkish friends has been coming along, brightening our day, and just I don't know, it's been so great to get to know Tugce and her crew. So when I was thinking, we're talking about visa holders, Tugce was the first person that I thought we should chat to. And what I want to do this week is really put faces, or I guess voices, to this issue. And Tugce, thank you so much for being part of this project with me. Welcome.
Oh, thank you for having me, actually. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak.
You guys are so great. You come with your husband, Alper. Tell me a bit about yourself and what you've been doing here in Melbourne.
I've been here in Melbourne for 2.5 years now. I'm a student. I'm studying hospitality and tourism in bachelor level. And I've been working part-time in a couple of restaurants. I came here to gain some experience through this studying. I decided to be a chef in Turkey. Before that, I was a geneticist, and my husband was a lawyer. So we decided to follow our passion and travel through here, and now here we are, actually.
Wow, it's a really interesting background. What makes a geneticist and a lawyer decide to pack those careers in and move into restaurants?
So actually we were traveling in Italy together. Then we saw small wineries, local restaurants. They were using their own crops, own product beautifully. And we said, why not we can do this in Turkey? And why not we are not doing this right now? And we didn't want to wait until we are 50 years old, maybe 60, I don't know. And then we decided to study culinary school together. Actually, I did even finish my master's degree for in genetic area. Then I realized I am enjoying cooking more than publishing a scientific journal. So I said, why not? I'm doing this not as a hobby, but every day, and live happily ever after with my husband.
I love it. That's great. Your fairy tale.
Yeah.
What is it about cooking that you love so much? Why did it really lure you in?
I always thought it's an artistic way to show yourself, actually, and you see the result immediately. I'm I love seeing a result. Like you are doing an experiment every day in your kitchen. Actually, you follow up, you look what's going wrong, and you can change for the next time when you're cooking. So like it's a great journey for me, and it's so colorful. And I like seeing people's faces after I feed them with my own dinner.
Yeah. It's very immediate and satisfying.
Yes.
You know what I'm doing, like either side of this recording. So before, the reason I was a minute late was that I was making some pancake batter, and like I was reading a cookbook last night to relax because, you know, honestly,
Why not?
yeah, why not? It's a very beautiful book by a Victorian chef called Guy Mirabella, and this book is called Hungry, and it's so beautiful. And I was reading a recipe for these oat and buttermilk pancakes last night in bed, and you need to soak the oats in buttermilk. So I was already in bed, so I asked my daughter to do it. So she soaked the oats, and I've just made the batter. So when we get off this recording, not that I want to rush it, but when I get off this recording, I'm going to make the pancakes.
Nice.
And I'm pretty excited.
Yes.
I like those daily transformations that you can make with food.
Exactly. I'm doing the same thing, but I'm watching some videos about cooking to relax.
Yeah, right.
To spend my time.
So why did you guys decide to come to Australia?
We thought like we both speak English as our second language. So we thought either America, Canada, or Australia in the beginning because I didn't want to learn a new language, to be honest, first of all. Then I thought like Australia is so multicultural and like there are lots of cuisines altogether. And I think people are less prejudiced about food. They like every kind of cuisine from all over the world. And I thought like I can see those places, eat in them, and also work with great chefs as possible. And also I like to see as much as places in the world. And I decided this can be my first stop. Then I thought like why not I shouldn't travel here. So again, here I am trying to follow my dream.
So what was it like when you got to Melbourne? Was it like you expected, you know, with the multiculturalism and the opportunities? Was it as you imagined?
Yes, there are lots of restaurants, like more than I can ever imagine, actually. I wasn't expecting this many restaurants in everywhere. But it like there was good times and bad times. When I came here for the first time, like I met with good people and bad people. And at the beginning, it was a bit hard, especially like when you're not talking your own language, communication-wise, and you're trying to be so hard to be not an outsider along the others. And as a woman chef, you're trying to always prove yourself more than the others. But I got used to it, I think, and the chances become better after a time. I felt better about myself and the work environment.
That's good. Is it different to be a female chef in Australia than in Turkey?
It is better, actually. It is difficult to be a woman, like not even you're not doing anything. There's a big pressure on women, on females in Turkey. You'll live with this feeling every day. Like when you are on the public transportation, when you're applying for a job, on your workplace, you're always underestimated. You're always under the risk of either being harassed or like you're thinking about it all the time. Like after some hours, you have to let someone know that I'm walking in this street and I'm planning to be there at 10. But like if I'm not, just so you know, like
wow,
these kind of precautions we have to deal with like daily basis.
Yeah. So you found Australia different in that regard. It wasn't that constant pressure.
Yeah, like there is still pressure on women, I think, but not that much.
Yeah.
And I felt more free. Like I got used to this feeling so quickly.
That's good. So you obviously so you came here on a student visa. So you know that comes with certain conditions. What was it like? When you first came here and over the previous 2 years. What was it like to be on a visa? Was it something that sort of weighed on you? Was it something that you needed to think about, or was just like, no, I'm just here in Australia. I'm having my life.
So, like, of course, if I could work more than 20 hours, I would love to spend my time with the restaurants that I want to gain some experience. But I was aware that I have these conditions before I came here. But it is hard to find a job as a chef when you are working only 20 hours per week. They are, because the hours are really long in restaurants. You spend like at least 8 hours, 10 hours in some place. And like that means 2 days only. And you have to convince the chefs that they need students, or they need me. I can create beautiful things in 20 hours. Please let me work, kind of a speech. And at the same time, it is understandable because you have to study too. But like until Corona, I wasn't feeling that restricted, actually.
So just for people who are listening, international students in Australia are allowed to work 40 hours a fortnight, so 20 hours a week. And I mean, the international students are in every restaurant, right? Like it's normal that international students are working in kitchens and front of house, but those hours are restricted. So yeah, it is something that both sides of the equation need to consider. When the pandemic arose, and it was a surprise for all of us, none of us had any experience dealing with anything like this. When did it start to become apparent to you that your visa was going to affect the way you were able to cope with it?
After I get fired, actually. Not fired, but let go. Because I was working as a casual worker. They had to let go people because they don't need that many chefs in the restaurant anymore. First, they restricted the numbers of the customers, then they shut down. So I wasn't expecting this too, and things were going great for me, and I was loving where I worked. Then all of a sudden, with my friends, actually every friend that I have here either as a student or with the other temporary visas, we are all out of jobs immediately. We are all working in hospitality, and then we realized like we start panicking, to be honest.
What kinds of conversations were you having with each other?
We all came to the home like it was really nerve-wracking, so demoralizing because you didn't plan for this. Like there's no plan B, there's no safety net for you. We thought like I started doing delivery services for a couple of companies, but that wasn't going so well. Actually, before we came here, they asked to show some money in your bank account to survive in here, the amount that you're gonna stay here. But this is not a local problem. Like my country lives the same issue. Currencies are dropping down. Everyone is losing their job. My saving, actually my father's saving, lost twice as much as value, and my father actually lost half of his customers. So I had to take care of myself in the end.
Wow.
And I immediately, you have a lot of time to think about the worst case scenario, and you become immediately so creative because we have so much time. And all the scenarios in my mind were really bad, and we were like trying to stay positive, but we couldn't at some point. So we just had to wait.
Waiting is really hard in a situation like that when there's so much uncertainty, and there are really practical things like paying your rent and getting money together to buy food. That must be a really, really challenging headspace.
Yes, exactly. I was planning my life according to what was I was earning before, or what was where do I live, like what do I do. I even moved into this suburb that I'm living in to be close to my restaurant, and it is a little bit higher than the other suburbs, but since I'm not working anymore, well, it doesn't make any sense. So like it immediately puts the pressure on you, and you don't know if you can make a discount, if you can break the lease, what's gonna be the cost for this, or like even not the rent. If I'm like, am I gonna buy some food? I can survive for 1 month. What if this keeps continue for 3 months, 4 months? I don't know. What am I gonna do? Like, these were the questions.
Yeah.
We were all thinking.
You don't know what to plan for.
Yeah.
So, as the first weeks of the pandemic ticked by, there were government support packages announced federally and by the state government. And Prime Minister Scott Morrison said near the start of April that if people were here on temporary visas and they weren't able to sort themselves out, then they should go home. How did that make you feel?
To be vulnerable, to be honest. Was the first time I felt a totally stranger to this city. I even thought every smile that I had till now maybe could have been fake. Like, maybe these people don't want me here, or like I'm not in a safe environment even, because I'm coming from a place that our politicians ignore the minorities on purpose to because they have concern losing votes. But I thought maybe it can be because of that, or maybe in the future they can change their minds. But I wasn't expecting this direct sentence towards me. Like, I could have understand that there is no such plan for these visa holders, but I wasn't expecting to be said, go home. Like, we can do nothing for you, and just like we have to ignore you, basically. And it was really demoralizing.
Yeah. To me, it was such a misunderstanding of the situation. As you say, you've built your life here, you committed to work, you're in the middle of a course. I mean, did you consider going to Turkey? Was that something that was that one of the scenarios that crossed your mind?
I thought about it, but I'm studying in here. I don't want to be somewhere else while I'm keeping on my studies. Like, this was my first thinking. And second of all, I am in a contract to everywhere. Like, I'm paying my bills, even my phone bill, my rent, like everything is basically here. So I didn't think any other scenario to go back. But if there is no way for me to can stay here, I had to go back to an environment that I cannot find a job also, and I have to pay everything still in here, and while I'm staying in Turkey, and Turkey is not doing great either. The economy is going bad every day. People are losing jobs in there too, and you cannot do anything basically. you're just like up in the air.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know that a lot of people that come here on temporary visas and, when they become permanent residents, like there's this process of investing in that journey at every step of the way. How much is it costing you to do your course?
For this course, with my visa expenses, it cost me $30,000 actually. Maybe more if I cannot remember the additions.
Yeah. And the visas cost money, everything, like you're not able to access healthcare in the same way as Australians. I mean, there are basic expenses. It's a big investment.
Yes, it is. It's not a easy thing that you can pay without any support, actually, or without you have to work.
To me, like I find it so disappointing as an Australian that that the whole country doesn't come together to support people like you. It's like nobody knew there was a pandemic coming. No one was prepared for it. Of course, you don't have money in the bank to get you through this, and you've invested in being here. You've come here completely legally, and we need your skills, and we need your manpower. Like we need you guys. It's just, to me, it's so disappointing. And for you to say that you felt like every smile might have been fake, that really breaks my heart. It's just...
Maybe not every smile. Yeah.
But still, even to have that thought cross your mind and to feel that, that you were welcome and you were making your way, and then to feel like you're turned into this other, I think it's so damaging to a society and, to our world as a whole. It's just, it's really, it's not who we are. It's not who we should be as people. That's what I think. So Tugce, at the moment, we're hearing a lot about how the virus is being transmitted through Melbourne, and a lot of it is about people who feel that they simply can't afford not to work. So whether it's casual workers who are going from aged care facility to aged care facility, whether it's cleaners or security guards or other healthcare workers, a lot of these people are on temporary visas and they're not able to access any government support. What do you think about this? Have you heard about situations where visa holders are putting themselves in danger and increasing the risk of virus transmission because they're simply desperate?
I didn't hear anything like this because all of my friends has no jobs. I am the only person that still keep on working, but like I can totally understand actually the feeling that like you're in the worst scenario ever in your life. Like there's a hierarchy of needs, and like at the bottom you need to have some air, food, and shelter. If you don't have these, how can you not jeopardize your job? How can you jeopardize your job? Like, how can you not go there? I can understand the psychology behind it, but of course, like I worked in a laboratory, that's an environment that you shouldn't touch anything if you don't need to, and like I couldn't risk my own industry actually. If I infect more people, that means this is gonna take more time. We can't go back. So that's what I try to explain my friends to. The the seriousness of this situation. But yeah, I didn't want to be near in that position, like for any person. It's so bad actually.
Well, I guess you're in a pretty unusual position, but having a master's in genetics and also being here as an international student and looking for work as a chef.
Yeah, I couldn't get rid of the gloves and the masks. Actually, it is funny. It is kind of funny. Yeah, like it is a bit hard to work in both environment with masks and gloves and being considering every possibility to infect somewhere or someone.
So, Tugce, you have found a bit of work now. Tell me about the job that you've got at the moment.
So I'm working in an organization called FareShare. We are cooking for people in need, basically. And we are cooking every day 2,000 to 3,000 people for 3,000 people. And yeah, we are cooking in giant amounts. And I love working at there. I love to be in a circle that I had to empathy with the situation because I was in that situation. After I found this job, it's like made me so happy. First of all, I was working again. Second of all, I was working for people like me, and it's a great thing to feel because you're working for a great purpose, and everyone is chasing like in a rush to do the first thing to help each other, and people are working in a smile. Actually, I never seen a place like this because, like, even in a best restaurant, you chase in order to be better, but in here you chase between each other to help each other. Like, this is a great thing to feel in a work environment.
Yeah. FareShare is an amazing organisation. I'm an ambassador for them, and for anyone who doesn't know, what they do is they take rescued and donated food and food that they grow themselves in urban farms. They turn it into nutritious meals for people who are doing it tough. Those meals are frozen, distributed to agencies, and then given out to anybody who needs them, including temporary visa holders, including people who are in the lockdown towers in Flemington and North Melbourne. So it's an organisation that does good at every level, and Tugce's position is supported through a fundraiser specifically to employ someone on a temporary visa. So I'm so glad that it's worked out in that way, and that it's and that you're just part of that circle of good. It's really fantastic. Tugce, I know that you've got big ambitions and aspirations, what you want to do with your food and your cooking skills. Tell us a bit more about that.
So I want to open my own restaurant, first of all. I want to create an environment without any discrimination, with an open communication. After I sustain that, like as a work environment, I want to work for greater good also. I want to work for women and children. And I want to create a similar organization like FareShare. I want to cook for these people because in Turkey you can't eat dinner in fine dining-ish restaurants every day. There are a couple of them, and even normal restaurants are so expensive. So few people are eating these places. So I want to make them feel special and make the food reachable for the people. And yeah, like these are my long-term goals, actually.
Yeah, that's so great. Well, I feel like I want to apologise on behalf of Australia for how you're being treated at the moment and how you're not being included. And my view is that, looking after everybody is better for everybody. I think we can really see now that when people are put in desperate situations, there's a danger of them not only endangering themselves, but continuing the spread of the virus through the community. So I'm sorry, Tugce, but I'm so glad that you're here, and I'm so glad.
Oh, thank you so much.
I'm so glad we met, and I'm so glad that FareShare is getting the benefit of your skills and your smile. So I can't wait to see where the journey takes you. I think Australia is so lucky to have you here.
Oh, thank you so much. I didn't want to make you feel bad about this, but I totally understand. I didn't want to make anyone feel bad about this also, because this is the situation, but I don't know who can I address the problem. So thank you for this, and thank you for this opportunity.
No worries. Well, thank you for kicking off our week of discussions with people around the issues of visa holders. And I'm going to go make my pancakes now.
Oh, yay! Maybe you can share the recipe with me.
I will. Okay. Thanks, Tugce.
Thank you so much.
This is Dirty Linen, and I'm Dani Valent. We air the issues that the hospitality industry finds hard to talk about. We spend a week thrashing around each issue, hearing from different people with unique perspectives. We want to hear from you as well. If you have something that needs to be said about a topic, get in touch so we can include your perspective. Contact us at dirtylinen@deepintheweeds.com.au or hit us up on Insta at Dirty Linen Podcast. We can't wait to hear from you.
This is a Deep in the Weeds production.